This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com with a daily wrestling news update. And it is very expensive to be a wrestling fan these days, crazy expensive. If you go to the Undertaker's one-man show, and this does not include entry to watch the show, by the way, which is also very expensive, but you can get a toast with the Undertaker for 2,803.57 US. That is crazy. Just to toast somebody, pay almost $3,000. It's insane. I remember when he came to CD Warehouse in Ottawa in, I think it was 96 or 97. And it was free to get his autograph because they were trying to attract attention for the show later that night in Hull, Quebec. So it's crazy how much things have gone up. I mean, you can still get a row 5 ticket to WrestleMania, by the way, for over $8,000. Like, who would pay $8,000 for a fifth row ticket? I just don't get it. I guess it's not fan friendly to the more poor fans anymore. But those kind of prices just blow my mind. No wonder they're making so much money. It's crazy. Raw rating was down this week, by the way, for the big Sami Zayn Cody Rhodes promo. But I forgot to write it down, so I'm going to search it up again. The NXT rating. Okay, here. Sorry. This is the Elimination Chamber Go Home show. 0.47 rating. Leading in to Roman Reigns against Sami Zayn. And they're saying now that the only possibility that Sami Zayn could win is if they turn the WrestleMania main event into a three-way match. I can tell you as a wrestler, three-way matches aren't fun to do. And as a fan, they're not fun to watch, but I mean, I don't have much interest in WrestleMania this year just because there's not much special about it thus far unless they surprise us. I mean, we were all expecting The Rock, so anything less than The Rock just seems like a huge disappointment. People willing to pay $8,000 plus for Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. Congratulations to you for having that much money. Tammy Sunny Sitch's pre-trial conference related to the crash that she was in that killed somebody has been delayed until March 23rd. I believe she is still incarcerated right now. Tony Khan is going to do Ring of Honor, quote-unquote, TV tapings February 25th and Sunday, February 26th in Orlando. This will not be for an actual TV show, but for a paid Honor Club service. So for those of you wrestling fans that don't get enough of Raw, SmackDown, Impact, AEW Dynamite, AEW Rampage, AEW Dark, AEW Dark Elevation, MLW, and NWA, if that's not enough for you, you can now pay a fee to watch these Ring of Honor matches too. To be a wrestling fan these days and keep up with everything and actually watch it all seems impossible. Despite his father passing away Tuesday, Jeff Jarrett is still going to wrestle on Dynamite tonight. Obviously, throughout their lives, they weren't all that close. They went through periods of time without talking. I still remember the time that Jeff Jarrett came to the show, the Great North Wrestling show here in Ottawa, where it was advertised Christian against Jeff Jarrett in the main event, and Bret Hart was supposed to be on the card, but Bret Hart missed his flight connection, didn't make the show. Then Jeff Jarrett got to the show and said he didn't want to wrestle. He just wanted to interfere in a match. So speaking of three-way matches, it was supposed to be AJ Styles against PCO. We had to change it to add Christian to that. And Jeff Jarrett came out for about a minute during that match and just did a run-in, but still charged the $2,500 US he was at that time, plus business class airfare. Braun Breaker will defend the NXT championship against Jinder Mahal next Tuesday on NXT. Sadly, Jinder Mahal is now regulated to putting Braun Breaker over. But last I read, Jinder Mahal was making a good amount of money. Let's look up what he was making over $1 million. Let's see how much he's making. I'm curious. Jinder Mahal, he's down to $900,000 a year now, according to this. To that updated in 2022 Sportskeeda. Sheamus makes $1 million. Dolph Ziggler, $1.5 million. Wow. I won't go into too much details over that. No Gimmicks guy, aka Jack Kilby, is doing an interview with the author of the Sheik's book, Blood and Fire, on the Great North Wrestling podcast tomorrow. I am a huge original Sheik fan, so I'll definitely watch that. Tonight, by the way, I'm getting a psychic reading at 7 on this channel. And I noticed when I announced that, someone had a rude comment for me. But, I mean, if someone's willing to do a psychic reading with me, why not see what they have to say? I'm curious. DX Jinder Mahal will boost the ratings after the injuries he's had. It's nice to see him as a manager for those people. Yeah. I think they blew it with Mahal when they had that big stadium show in India and then had Triple H beat him, and Triple H is like hardly wrestles anymore. And he's like, you build this guy up, you make him champion. I remember that big ceremony they had for him on Raw, with all the pomp and circumstances. They go to India, they're at this stadium in front of a huge crowd, and then Triple H beats him. I didn't see the point of that. Wallace Christian is in AEW. And the event that I'm talking about took place in 2007. One of the first Great North Wrestling's event. By the way, also in WWE news, I did watch this Dominic Mysterio Valentine's Day dinner where he kicks Rey Mysterio and his wife out of a restaurant. But here's the thing, okay? I'll give the cheesy acting a pass, but again, here they are performing a scripted acting segment on a TV show, which they call the longest running scripted TV show in history. And yet they're not in the actors union. But here's what turns me off about like how there's no realism in WWE. They come into this restaurant, okay? And they're like, the reservation is for Mysterio. And the person at the front desk is like, sorry, there's already a Mysterio at that table. As if like Rey Mysterio had taken his reservation. But then when they go inside the restaurant, there's empty tables everywhere. So what sense does it make that the person at the front would not say, well, your table's taken, but there's 12 other empty tables here? I don't get it. It's the suspension of disbelief that I'm lacking, because like, I don't know, if I owned a restaurant and I had 12 empty tables, or however many empty there were, I would just tell the person to go to one of the empty tables. So I don't know. It kind of took me out of it. Mike Piper's doing well. We went for a nice walk today. Danny, yes, I've met the Undertaker many times, and I wrestled with him in the ring once in Montreal before SmackDown taping in 2005, January of 2005. And I met him backstage a bunch of times and met him, as I said, at that CD Warehouse autograph thing the first time when I was a kid. I have done a short interview with the Headbangers. Mike, there is a Mark Marrow interview on this channel. I'm surprised you haven't seen it. The clip of him talking about Brock Lesnar stealing Sable away from him has hundreds of thousands of views. Someone says that's why you need to follow the indies, because the crazy expensive prices of freaking WWE. Hello, Robert from Michigan, home of the Sheik. Ivan, I haven't really been following the Tammy thing very closely. Robert, I did talk to Sid the other day. He is going to do his interview with me soon. The problem is he's not that computer literate, so he's trying to coordinate a time with his friend that knows how to work computers to come over and set it up for him. But the Sid one should be happening imminently. I just talked to him on Monday. And what else was I going to say? Oh, yeah, Typhoon is coming up. Jinder Mahal. Okay, we said that is going to boost the ratings, you think. Where's Damian Demento? He's an artist. He is an artist now. I've tried to interview him. I actually contacted him about an interview. And he said that he doesn't want anything to do with wrestling anymore, and he's moved on from it. But he was very polite. He said he'd seen the channel and appreciated me being interested in interviewing him. That's some great writing there with the Mysterio thing, where they've just basically turned it into like a comedy thing where they've done it on Thanksgiving and Christmas and now Valentine's Day, where the Dominic Mysterio beats up Rey Mysterio. Whatever. It got me to at least watch it because I find the girl that's playing his girlfriend attractive. So that's why I watched it, to be perfectly honest with you. But it stood out to me. I was laughing at it, not because of the comedy of the skit, but the comedy of he's fighting over a friggin' table when there's empty tables throughout the restaurant. Who's the best Canadian wrestler ever? Mad Dog Vachon. Peace and love. WWE does not care about believability. No, they don't. Could I track down that guy? No. DK, next month they'll have a St. Patty's Day segment with Dominic and Ray, probably. Oh, someone said it for me. Constipated in Sin City. Happy to know you're still alive. Best Canadian ever was Mad Dog. For one thing, he was in the Olympics. Like, if he had been popular in later years, he would have been even better known. But, like, he was extremely tough. One of the toughest wrestlers ever. Very, very, very believable. Great character. Scary promos. And as I've said, like, even working in the bars here, when I was doing it in the early 2000s, you would still hear stories about Mad Dog getting in bar fights around here from the 1980s. That's how crazy his bar fight stories were in the bar fight industry around Ottawa, which is literally across the river from me right there is Quebec. So he would wrestle in here all the time. Danny, Mad Dog is in the Hall of Fame. And so is the Sheik. Those are two very deserving people. So is Sid. which we can ask him what he thinks about him not going in. But thanks for tuning in. I'm going to be back in 5 minutes having this psychic reading done on me, which we'll see how this turns out. Other than even in Kitchener, which again, that's a good 4 hours from here. Has also heard the Vachon stories. Haku and Samoa Joe in a real fight, I would say Haku. I've been around them both. Haku is thicker and has more of an aura of fighting around him, more of an aura of danger around him. Joe is a good fighter, though. I don't doubt it, but Haku, you just know he's the type that you get the feeling around him that if he goes, it's dead serious, where Joe might have some sympathy for you. And I have been tag team partners with Samoa Joe. We beat Jinder Mahal and Gamma Singh Jr. in Calgary together. I would say Barbarian over Joe too. Just because they're way bigger too. Barbarian's massive. Massive, massive, massive. Anyways, guys, I'm out of here.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you